Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about what would your person say to you if they were going to be completely honest. So if we were going to strip away all the lies, all the ego, all the fakeness us humans have to engage in, and they were going to be completely 100% transparent about their feelings for you, what would they be saying? We're going to get into all of it, and today we have a selection of different crystals for you to choose from. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to head to my Patreon to watch all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about your spiritual talents and powers. Before that, about your person and whether you have a soul connection or karmic past life connection with them. Before that, what people have realized about you, but there is so much content to go through over on Patreon. Like I said, over 90 exclusive readings. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, so you get to be the first to watch those. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you want a tarot reading, an astrology session, just an open channeling session, whether you want it to be live or pre-recorded, quicker, about 30 minutes, or a full-length hour-long reading, you get to really customize your session. So it's the perfect session for you and the perfect reading. If that sounds good and you want to sign up, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards and see how this person really feels deep down inside, what they would say if they were completely honest with you. How does this person really feel? What would they say if they were being totally honest with pile number one? So the first card, the High Priestess. Okay, so they may feel a very deep connection with you, and it may not be something that they want to let on. I feel like in a way this person doesn't want you to know how much they think of you and how frequently. Maybe they wake up in the morning and you're the first thing on their mind, and they go to bed and you're the last thing on their mind, but they may not want you to know that. They may kind of be trying to play it cool, or kind of trying to see like, what would happen if I had the upper hand. This person may even kind of be afraid to like scare you off, or be afraid to let you have the power in the relationship by letting you know exactly how much they think of you. So I feel like in a way, this might be a person who might play it cool, or not send as many messages, or kind of like be a little cagey with it and hold it back. I feel like also they may not even be willing to admit to themselves or their friends or anything how much they think of you, because they may think that you would think it's crazy, or that other people would find it crazy. Like if people knew how much they're thinking of you, that they would think, oh my God, there's something wrong with you. Like you're insane, you're a stalker, or you're obsessed, or like that's not normal. So yeah, with the High Priestess, I feel like this person, they may even have a hard time verbalizing how much they do care about you and how deep their feelings go. The High Priestess can generally mean something that's deep and spiritual and very intense, and something that is rare and may come from past lifetimes. It's a spiritual connection when you see it in this context. So the fact that it's coming out off the top says to me that they might not want you to know how deep they consider this. And also, again, the High Priestess is a card of consciousness and spirituality, so maybe you are on their mind a lot, and that might not be something they fully want you to know the extent of. Let's get some more cards for you, pile number one. What would this person say if they were completely honest to pile number one? Let's see, the Four of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords reversed. Maybe sometimes they are intimidated by you with the Queen of Swords reversed. The Queen of Swords obviously is extremely smart, very intelligent. She knows what's going on. She sees through everything. She's very like quick-witted, and she's not easy to fool. She's not dumb by any means. She's very, very intelligent. And so this person may literally find you intimidating and daunting. And she's also like good in conversation. She's good with her speech and putting words together and knowing what to say. And this person may feel intimidated by you and kind of like not want to get on your bad side or worry about seeming dumb, like worry about talking to you and running out of things to say and what you would think. They may worry about trying to seem smart and wanting to impress you in that way, or like holding themselves back from some of the things they want to say because they're like, oh, they think that's dumb, or I need to be on my best behavior with this person. I need to make a good impression with them. I feel like this person maybe does a lot of editing of who they are. So there might be a lot of things that they would tell you if you were being completely honest. Some of those might be kind of dumb. Like it might be like, I'm seeing like SpongeBob memes in my head. Like maybe there are stupid, silly memes that this person wants to send you, but then they're like, oh, they would think it's lame. Or maybe this person, you know, just like is kind of silly, but they don't want to show you that side of themselves yet because they kind of are afraid of scaring you away, and they might think you're too smart for that, and that you'd be like, oh my God, why did you send me like a stupid SpongeBob meme? Like, what are you, 12? And they may worry about that, like making that good impression and thinking that they're smart, you thinking that they're intelligent, that they have something great to say. So they might really overthink their conversations with you, and that could hold them back from communication. Because I feel like this person, they don't want to like put the foot wrong. You know, the Four of Pentacles is also a card about really building and really trying to create something, and something very solid. So it can be someone who's like working on themselves, trying to transform themselves, and focused on like, you know, what I could do long term, or who am I, or what's the best version, what's the best thing I can build. And so this person may be trying to do self-improvement, and they may get a little self-conscious around you. They may worry about, what are you going to think, and what if I mess up, and what if I say something stupid? What are they going to think of me? So yeah, I feel like they might filter themselves quite a lot, and some of the things that they actually would tell you might be kind of like stupid, low key, or kind of like silly, just like, you know, them wanting to joke with you, or them not wanting you to see the goofy side of their personality, or them being afraid, I'm hearing for some of them being afraid that you'll think they're boring, and maybe being afraid to like run out of conversation with you. I feel like this person would almost like rather not initiate a conversation and then feel dumb, or feel like, oh my God, that was a horrible, boring conversation. The whole time they were probably like rolling their eyes. And yeah, I feel like this person also may be very busy as well, because we got the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles can show a real focus on like your career and other things outside of relationships, sometimes too much of a focus on that to the exclusion of other things. So this person may also just be having a lot to deal with, a lot on their plate, and a lot of things that they kind of have to take care of. And that may be something that also holds them back, or you know, affects their ability to like come to you and be honest with this coming through in conversation or in this topic. Let's get some more cards for pile number one. What would this person say if they were being completely honest to pile number one? The Ace of Swords. They may initiate contact more often with you, with that Ace of Swords coming out, if they were being honest, because the Ace of Swords is an initiation of a conversation or some intellectual endeavor. So with the Ace of Swords, it can be that first person to send the text, or beginning a conversation, or starting contact with someone, you know. And I feel like this person might hold themselves back. They may even be a bit of a game player. So some of you guys might not like that. Maybe they read online that like, oh, if you text someone too much, you know, they'll lose interest. So instead they hold themselves back, and instead they kind of don't do that, and they try to like drum up your interest and make you more interested by not, you know, initiating anything. But I feel like deep down inside they would like to talk, or they would like to get in touch with you, with that Ace of Swords coming out. Yeah. This could definitely be someone that's being weird about communication because we keep getting a lot of cards about that. What would this person say to pile number one if they were going to be completely honest with pile one? We got the Seven of Cups. Oh my gosh. And to me, what's coming to my mind with that, because that is a very complicated, complex card with a lot of different meanings. I love that card for that reason. But it could, what's coming through right now for you is thinking about you a lot, thinking about you all the time, thinking about lots of different scenarios when it comes to you, maybe even planning out the future, because you can see like in this deck, there's lots of different scenarios coming out of these cups. It's not just like one thing for sure. There's this little castle, there's the wings, there's the woman, there's the rose, there's the jewelry. So there's kind of all these different scenarios that could play out. That's why I said the Seven of Cups is a really complex, beautiful card with a lot of different possible meanings. But I feel like in this context, it's like someone who's imagining all these different scenarios, and really their mind is like, playing over, oh, it could be this, it could be that, oh, that could happen, but not really wanting you to know that, and not really wanting to give you that power or let you know how much power you have, and kind of not wanting to maybe come on too strong or scare you off a little bit. So there is a little bit of like them holding themselves back, or them thinking that they have to act a certain way and not wanting you to be aware of the power you have, I feel. Let's get some more cards for you, pile one. What would this person say to pile one if they were being completely honest with them? The Tower. This person could also get very pessimistic about your connection. The Seven of Cups shows, like I said, a bunch of different scenarios. Some of them are positive, but some of them are very negative. So it's like, it could be that, one minute they're imagining a future with you, the next they're thinking she's never going to like me, or he's never going to be into me, or I need to just break things off, and you know what, there's no point in this. They could go back and forth in their mind, or they could be considering like, maybe I should just end things, or maybe they're going to end things, and they could get very pessimistic. I feel like this person, even in this moment, they might be dealing with a lot, like I mentioned that with the Four of Pentacles, and they might have a lot going on in their life that makes it kind of hard for them to like be fully there in a relationship. It may make it hard for them to open up and really focus entirely all their energy on you or on the connection, because I feel like this person might, have a lot of other things they're contending with, and a lot of other things that they're dealing with or worrying about. And I feel like sometimes those worries just overwhelm them. And there may be I'm getting a sense of inadequacy. Like sometimes this person worries that they may not be enough for you, or sometimes they worry that you won't be impressed by them, or that whatever they do couldn't be good enough for you. I feel like with this person, they may worry about your interest in them. Sometimes they may think, oh, they're not that into me, or oh, they don't care that much, or they probably think I'm kind of a joke, and their anxieties and insecurities may really get the best of them at times, and they might go into a negative thought spiral. I feel like in a way this person also could be like standing back to see how you react, like wanting to see, what are you going to do? Are you going to step towards them? Are you going to try to make some effort, or are you just going to sit back? So there's a energy of like this person kind of needing a lot of reassurance, and almost like not being able to stand on their own or do things like fully stand 10 toes down as like, yeah, this is how I feel, but being very like vacillating, being very unsure of it, and being interested in you, but also not wanting to come on too strong, not wanting to scare you off, not wanting to, and also not being sure if they're even capable. Like I feel like sometimes this person just gets in a very low mood, maybe a lot of anxiety, but it's like sometimes they're just like, I can't do this, And I feel like that is maybe when they kind of would be the one to go ghost, or one to disappear for a while, or go into their own world. Yeah, I feel like this person is like dealing with a lot. They have a lot on their plate, and they have a lot they're trying to handle. Let me get one more final card for you. Pile number one. What would this person say if they were going to be completely honest? The Seven of Wands reverse. So they could also be worrying about like competition from other people, and worrying again if they're good enough, if they can. Oh, we have room for one more card. Let me Pull one more then. Oh, the Five of Swords. Okay. Yeah, so they may be worrying about other people, and they may really be kind of panicking or thinking that they're not good enough or that you're not going to be as impressed. And with the Five of Swords, I really, I'm not going to lie, I don't love to see the Five of Swords whenever I see it in a relationship reading. It's my personal kind of that, and the Seven of Swords. I'm always like, okay, great. Because it can indicate deception, and it's not surprising to me because I feel like with this person, they have kind of struggled with their self-worth, or they have struggled with feeling good enough. And I think sometimes when people are struggling with not feeling good enough as they are, that's when they might lie, or that's when they might be deceptive. If you think, I'm not good enough to be at this party, and someone asks you, well, who do you know here? How did you find out? You might lie and say like, oh yeah, I know the host. Yeah, I'm best friends. I have 7 friends here. You know what I mean? Just because that's what you've got to do. You've got to lie. If you tell the truth and say, oh yeah, I don't know, I just crashed this party, I don't know anyone here, then you'll get kicked out, right? So you're gonna lie when you have to lie. And I feel like this person kind of feels like they have to lie, like they have to deceive in order to get what they want. And so I'm not saying for everyone, obviously it's a general reading, take what resonates and leave the rest, but there is an energy where some of them might just feel like, hey, that's how it is, like you've got to play games. If you're honest, the person will lose interest. If you tell the truth about how you feel, then you're going to get played. They may believe a lot of these negative things when it comes to relationships, and that may influence their ability to, I'm not going to lie, be a good partner at times, where if they really think that if they were honest that someone would leave them, then that might not be the best energy that you want in a partner going into that relationship, going into a long-term relationship. If they just think lying is just how it goes, then that could definitely be problematic in the future. So yeah, I don't love that energy, but let's get some more cards and see. Actually, well, yeah, we'll go ahead with this deck. What messages do we have from this person about what they would really tell pile number 1? Making a choice. This person is indecisive, and you know what? It doesn't surprise me. It kind of surprises me that we didn't get like a 2 of Swords and 8 of Swords, because I do feel like this person waffles and goes back and forth, and kind of like I said, one moment they're feeling really optimistic, the next they're very pessimistic. One minute they're super into it and they're like, yes, this is awesome, and then the next minute they're like, there's no point, why do I even try? And that's the thing, is like when someone has that kind of like not super strong sense of identity, or they can be indecisive like that, not to call out all the mutable signs, I'm immutable, but it can be hard to really feel like, okay, this is a safe place for me to land. And I feel like it's just that, I don't know, this person has these fears and has these insecurities that they kind of bury and they kind of distract themselves with, but sometimes that's where it comes up, is like feeling insecure in the context of the relationship, or feeling like they can't bring anything to the table, and why am I trying, and what's the point, and all this very like depressing kind of stuff that I feel like they go through. Let's see what else this person would say if they were being completely honest. If they were being completely honest, we got Spirit of Place and Gentle Gardener. So I feel like this person does really feel that deep spiritual connection with you. Gentle Gardener definitely talks about that, about kind of a presence that looks over the world. So this person may feel like, very spiritually drawn to you. I feel like sometimes this person almost tries to talk themselves out of it. Like maybe they weren't looking for a relationship, maybe they weren't looking for anything serious, and they try to tell themselves like, oh, whatever, it's not too late, you can just bail out of it and it's okay. But I feel like their heart really has been like in it, and they do feel really strongly for you. But I feel like they go back and forth, and it's almost like they would kind of like free themselves from this if they could, which is again something that can be kind of concerning, because then someone like this could do some self-sabotage or something and try to ruin the relationship to protect themselves. It's almost like they feel like they need to protect themselves and go inside of themselves. I also feel like this person could be grappling with a lot of soul work. They may be having a hard like Saturn transit, like Saturn transiting the 7th house, or Saturn transiting the 1st house for Pisces ascendants, or Saturn transiting or Saturn, like a Saturn return or something difficult with Saturn in the fifth house. But it feels like they definitely are kind of struggling and dealing with, oh, how do I get through this time in my life? And then it's like they're very interested in you and they feel very called to you, but there's also this, am I ready for this? And kind of like this resistance and feeling inadequate that I think doesn't help. Like feeling like you're so great and you have it all figured out and you're so special. And then kind of like, well, where do I fit in for this? Like, why are they with me? I'm not as impressive as them. Look at me. I'm kind of not a loser in comparison, but I feel like they just see you as that Queen of Swords, and it's kind of something that panics them. Like I feel like they don't know if they're ready, and they're thinking as well maybe that all these things that come to a relationship will be like a lot of hard work, and it's going to be like a lot of difficulty and stress for them, and I feel like sometimes that scares them off as well. Let me get some song cards for pile one. What songs do we have to represent this person and their feelings for pile one and what they would really tell pile one if they were going to be honest? We got Love at First Sight, Kylie Minogue, The Only Exception, Paramore, Every Little Kiss, Bruce Hornsby. This one is It's All Coming Back to Me Now, Celine Dion. I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston. God's Plan, Drake. And let's get I Summon You, Spoon. And let's get one final card. This one is Runaway, Kanye West. Wow. That's kind of sad. I mean, there's a lot of these self-defeating energies coming through. Like in Runaway, he says, let's have a toast to the D-bags. I don't want to say the full word, but because like I'm always afraid of cursing, although I don't think that's cursing. But anyway, I'm afraid of violating the terms. But I think, yeah, he's like, let's have a toast to the D-bags. And then it's like, run away as fast as you can. And I think he says, I don't know what it is with females, but I'm not too good at that ish. And then it's like all these lyrics about like the look on your face. I felt so bad. I felt so guilty. And I feel like that song, I actually love that song, but it's really contending with kind of like feeling like I just can't do this relationship thing, and kind of like that pessimistic energy when you realize you've hurt someone or when you realize you really messed something up, and kind of like that fatalistic, like, oh my God, am I always going to be alone? I'm such an idiot. I'm such a loser. I feel like this person kind of like goes back and forth with that, and they may even struggle. Some of them may have treated you badly, I'm not going to lie, or some of them with that Five of Swords. Take what resonates, please, and leave the rest, because this is going to apply to certain people and not everyone. I really want to make that clear. But for some people, this person may have treated you badly or lied about something with the Five of Swords, and this person may be feeling guilty. I'm not going to lie. Like they could have done something wrong, or they could have been acting in a way that I feel like this person does either self-sabotage, or it's almost like I can't help myself. I can't stop myself. I keep doing this thing, and then later I regret it. And then later I'm like, did I ruin it? But it's almost like this compulsion. It's almost like I can't make myself stop, and then we got Delicate, Taylor Swift, which is about the beginning of a relationship when it's kind of delicate and fresh and it's kind of fragile and you have to protect it because maybe things aren't settled. Like when you're first getting to know someone and you don't want to come on too strong and you don't want to scare them off by telling them about like your crazy family, and you're kind of like a little more nervous around them, and they don't know everything yet the way maybe someone you've been dating for 6 months or a year or 3 years knows everything. They know all your family weirdness. They know how you are when you first wake up in the morning that you're grumpy. You know what I mean? They know all the stuff you might hide at first or be worried that if they know this right now, that will scare them away. And so I feel like this person does have that vibe of kind of like concealing or not wanting to let you in, being a little secretive, because I feel like there's a part of them that either one is doing something bad. I'm not going to lie, for some of you guys, they are up to something shady, or two, just has a lack of self-worth. I feel like they do feel really, really called to you. And if they did mess this up, they would really regret that. They would like regret it for the rest of their life. And they kind of know that. So that's why I said it's not going to apply to everyone that they have done something shady. Some of these people really just could be struggling with like, oh my God, I really like this person and this is scary. And I don't know if they're going to like me back, especially when they know everything about me. But for some of them, yeah, they could have done something wrong. And now they're like, ooh, I really hope they never find out because I definitely don't want them to leave. But yeah, I know I did that. I know I did something bad. Um, yeah, I feel like their feelings are really, really strong though. And with the only exception, again, maybe they weren't even looking for a relationship or they didn't think they were capable of this kind of love when they met you. They didn't think they were really capable of feeling this way about anyone. And I feel like that has been kind of at once really exciting for them, but also really, really scary. Let's get some more cards for pile number one. What would this person say to pile one if they were going to be completely honest? Okay. Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding. This one is Lady of Lightning, surprises, sometimes shock, total paradigm shift. And okay, we got 5. I was trying to pull out 4, but this was a double pull. So we got the word Lord, communication, praise, dishonesty, Gaia's garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow, and the wise woman of Wonderland, integrity, compromise. Yeah, I feel like this person knows that you are a person of deep integrity and you are very honest. And they're kind of acknowledging that at times this person has played games or hasn't been fully present. I feel like part of it is that they are afraid if they show you everything, you'll run or you won't be okay with it. And I feel like this person also could be very tied into bad habits. Not all of them, but some of them could be very like in a rut of behavior. Like they're always used to acting a certain way, even if they know it's dysfunctional, even if they know they shouldn't. There's a part of them that just goes right back into that same stupid behavior that they've known from the beginning, like, oh, I shouldn't act this way, oh, this is dumb. But then there's that part of them that is just like, I can't help myself, like, this is what I know, this is what I'm good at, this is who I am. And they kind of fall back down into a sewer of behavior. So it could be like, you know, going out and partying or texting other people, or just like dysfunctional life behavior in general, like staying up too late and playing video games and not responding to texts, or you know what I mean? There's like a whole litany of different things it could be. But I feel like with them, they also may be trying to change this. And again, I think it's a general reading. Take what resonates. If you're like, no, they feel honest with me, then definitely listen to your intuition. It could just be someone that really struggles with, I don't know if I'm ready, I don't know if I'm good enough, but is super, super into you. Like, I feel like this person is very blown away and sees you as such a prize, sees you as so wonderful, and again, would be like heartbroken if they did actually mess this up. But whether that's going to stop them from doing that, you know, who knows? Because there is a little dysfunction at play and there is a little fear and maybe even ego wounding that's happened at some point. And whenever, you know, especially guys, when they get an ego wound, it can be very painful for them. And I feel like for you, they see you as like having figured your life out to a certain extent, or just having a certain level of like success, and why would you need them kind of is the vibe. So I feel like that definitely doesn't help with them. I feel like this person could also, for some of them, be working on some very intense self-improvement, trying to get better, trying to improve themselves for you. But some of them are just complacent and stuck in their ways. Some of them are actively working on trying to improve themselves and get better. And yeah, let's get some astrology dice to see what astrological energies are at play for this pile 1. We got the 10th house, Saturn, so double Capricorn, and then Leo. Let me spin, yeah, this again, the house, the 9th house. So we have Leo, Sagittarius, and Saturn, aka Capricorn. So Leo, that is the center of attention energy. Leo is the 5th house of romance and passions and excitement, and it's a really fun house. But again, if it's a dysfunctional energy in the 5th house, it could be someone that might really be into partying and flirting and having, yeah, romances, but not necessarily committing to like, ooh, one relationship. It might be like, ooh, you're fun and I want to talk to you and let me flirt with that person. So it can have that like flighty energy. So can Sagittarius for sure. The ninth house is the house of travel. It's the house of trying new things and going new places and exploring. And so, you know, when it comes to love, sometimes if you're dealing with like a Venus Sagittarius, it can be someone that they don't want to settle down right away. And it might even scare them, the concept of like, okay, all those things that happen in the relationship, buying a house together, settling into one place, only being with one person for the rest of your life, that may really scare off a Sagittarius. You know, they might be like, no, 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 I'm not ready. I still want to explore and try all the different flavors and meet new people and, you know, broaden my horizons. So there is that energy of fear that I'm getting. And then also this heavy Saturn. We got double Saturn, double Capricorn at first. And Capricorn, you know, it is a planet or an energy of hardship a little bit. Saturn is the taskmaster, the strictest teacher that will kick your behind and teach you a million lessons and be really harsh with you. And so, you know, Saturn, when it's coming in, I mentioned there may be this person going through some kind of a Saturn transit. It just feels like they are having to kind of like learn something and push themselves. And I think a lot of the outcome of whatever this relationship is will be based on how much this person is willing to embrace those Saturnian lessons and really take them on versus how much they're going to run from it and just kind of say, like, whatever, screw this is too hard. I feel like if this person is willing to embrace the hardship and the restraints and the kind of constriction and the commitment that Saturn requires, then there's so much beauty that could come out of this. And this could be a really beautiful connection because the feelings and the emotions are there. It just feels like they're going through a lot, they're dealing with a lot, they're in a kind of like messy mental place. And so it's really an issue of freedom of choice and what they're going to decide on. I feel like that's going to decide the outcome of this. So that is what I have for you. Pile one, I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my content, then head to my Patreon where there are over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to on Patreon. I just posted one about your spiritual powers and gifts. And before that, there was one about what people have realized about you, as well as your person, whether you know them from past life, what your soul connection is with them. There's so much content to go through. Like I said, over 90 exclusive readings on Patreon. Also, you get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you want to sign up for a tarot reading, an astrology session, a channeling session, a combination of all three, whether you want it to be a short, quick half an hour reading or a full hour length reading, whether you want it to be pre-recorded live, whether you want to talk about love, your career, your year ahead, whatever you have in mind. There's so many options of different ways to customize your reading, so it's the perfect reading for you. So if you are interested in getting that, then head on over to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards and see how this person really feels, what they would tell you if they were being honest with you. If they were being completely honest, what would they say to you, pile number 2? So we got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is ruled by Neptune, so that can indicate a spiritual connection. Neptune is a spiritual energy that connects us with the divine. So this person may see you as a bit of a dream. And I'm hearing as well, this person is worrying that they made a bad impression on you, because Neptune can be confusion and can sometimes not be great with their words. That's why Mercury is in fall in Pisces. So it's not necessarily the best placement for like being able to verbalize and say how you feel. And I feel like sometimes this person feels like they just can't say anything right. Like it's like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? They may even spend time after your interactions, like looking back at conversations and beating themselves up and being like, oh my God, that was so stupid. Why did I say that? Or like, oh, I should have said this. Or, oh my God, I hope they weren't offended because I think I accidentally like was insulting when I said this. Like I feel like they really ruminate and kind of like, Just wish they could have thought of the perfect thing to say to impress you. There is that energy coming through right off the bat. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 2. What would this person say if they were going to be completely honest? Okay, we got the Knight of Wands reverse and the Devil card reverse. I'm hearing I haven't looked at anyone else since I met you. So with the Knight of Wands reverse, you know, the Knight of Wands is a little bit of a player. The Devil card coming out next to it definitely can support that as well. So I want to pull some more cards before talking about that specifically, but what I'm getting right off the bat is like, even if this person is or was a player, it's like it's not hitting the same that it was before they met you. And if they were trying to talk to other people, like they might not even be able to. They might still be trying, but like now their mind just goes to you like all the time and they can't. It's almost like they can't get enough. You know what I mean? It's like their mind just goes back to you and back to you and back to you, and they just feel so drawn to you. I feel like it could even feel like an addiction with the Devil card coming out reversed like that, because the Devil card definitely can talk about addictive situations that we feel chained to. We feel like we can't leave. We feel obsessed, you know? So I feel like with this Knight of Wands reverse, what I'm getting is almost like this person, like you've really changed their perspective and you have given them like a different view on things that I think they never thought they'd have. Maybe they were like, oh yeah, I'm a player. I love to date. I love to play the field. That's just how I am. I'm always going to be that way. Yeah, this is my life. And then they meet you and they're like, whoa, suddenly I'm picturing like settling down. Suddenly I can see a future. Like, what? This is not part of the plan. Yeah, I feel like with that Knight of Wands, you've kind of made them really think and consider a lot of things. That definitely can be the case with the Hanged Man coming out as well. Like it can be a different perspective. It can be a shift in how you view things and really suddenly seeing things through like this totally different lens and kind of like changing what you always had thought you were going to do. And I feel like in a way, you have maybe changed their opinions about even like silly things. I feel like maybe you always eat your french fries with like mayo instead of ketchup, and this person has never seen anyone do that, and they'd always be like, what are you doing, like eating mayo with ketchup? That's weird. And then suddenly they find themselves being like, oh, I kind of want some mayo. That was actually pretty good, and now I'm gonna, maybe I should have some mayonnaise with this, and eating that like for the first time, you know what I mean? Or you turn them on to some music and now they like listening to that music and that's like their favorite band or whatever. I feel like you've influenced a lot of things and like you've kind of like rubbed off on them. Like in a way, Spirit is saying they think you have a really cool sense of style, which makes sense as well. Neptune can rule like Hollywood and all kinds of arts. So it's a very like glamorous energy and can be very creatively inclined. And they may think you have a really cool sense of style and really cool like perspective on things. Like I feel like you have really changed their mind, and in a way it feels like this person has like learned from you. Like literally you've been like a teacher for them. And I feel like this person doesn't want you to know how cool they find you and how on point they think your choices are. Like if you were like, oh, like wait, try your pie with this special ice cream. Like I know it's weird to have this flavor with the pie, but like trust me, it's good. And then they'll be like, oh my God, it's really good. Like it's almost like they think, oh wow, pile 2, you're always right. Like how do you know so much? Like there's this energy of being like in awe of you and being like, dang, they have really good taste. They know all this random information. Why are they hanging out with me? Like what do they see in me? Like I feel like you have introduce them to so much that even if you guys never talked again, they would probably always like, you know, have that list of things in their mind that you've done, and that might even change how they approach others in the future. Like even if you guys never talked again and they went and dated someone else, they might try to use like play the music that you turn them on to, or like cook the food you taught them how to make, or you know, like use the joke that you told them. Like there's an energy of them really learning from you and thinking like, wow, you're just so cool. Like this is yeah, like they love everything you have going on. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 2. So 6 of Wands. What does this person not really want pile number 2 to know? What would they tell them if they were being completely honest with pile number 2? What would their feelings be that they would tell them? the Ace of Swords. Okay, let me get one more card, and the Eight of Swords. I feel like sometimes they don't know how to act around you, and they feel kind of foolish or silly. Like it's almost an energy of feeling like, I don't know, worrying that they're like too young, or worrying that they sound stupid, or worrying that they seem immature in comparison to you. There's like this sense of you as being like above them in some way, or you as being more mature than them, and them sometimes feeling a little bit out of their depth around you. But I feel like that's something that this person really likes. Um, I feel like they also want to impress you with the Ace of Swords coming out. They would love to have a moment when they like, you are like, wait, what song is this? This is really good. And then they get to be like, oh yeah, it's this band. Yeah, listen to them all the time. And like they get to be the one to introduce you to something, you know, instead of vice versa, the reverse that always happens. I feel like they sometimes feel like they just, like the Eight of Swords, have no idea what to say, have no idea how to proceed, have no idea kind of like what's going to make you happy, or what would be a cool way to approach things with you. I feel like sometimes when this person is around you, they're just almost in this state of stress of like, okay, I gotta say the right thing. I gotta do the right thing. I can't come off that way. I want to make sure I'm cool. I don't want to come off cringe. And they're very almost self-conscious at times, or very like edited. They may not show their fullest version of themselves because they worry about saying or doing the wrong thing. And I feel like they just feel like you're like cooler than them in a way. Like it's just, yeah, they think of you as like cooler and more exciting, and they may think of themselves as a little boring compared to you. Let's get some more cards for pile number, wow, the Empress reversed. Pile number 2. And 2 more. Ooh, we got the 2 of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups. So double 2s, and of course the 2s in tarot and numerology definitely represent relationships. So that's a good sign. And the 2 of Cups is definitely like a soulmate energy and can show a meeting of the minds. I feel like this person, what they're telling me is that sometimes they have a hard time verbalizing and actually expressing their feelings. And that Neptune energy is coming out again because, like I said, Mercury, the planet of communication, is debilitated in Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. So Neptune and Mercury, they don't necessarily like vibe and get along that well. I actually really like people with Pisces Mercuries, or Sag Mercuries. I love people with Neptune Mercury aspects. I think it can make someone such a great communicator. So no hate to anyone who has those placements. I'm just saying that, and like there's so many famous writers. I think, I could be wrong, it might be a little off, but I think Taylor Swift has Mercury conjuncting Neptune. So I don't know. She's in that generational placement where Neptune should have been in Capricorn and her Mercury's in Capricorn, conjuncting Saturn and Uranus and everything. But anyway, so like great writers can have that placement. But I do think that you know, Neptune can, it's not an energy that feels super comfortable verbalizing and putting things in words. It's more of a feeling, it's more of an emotion. And so sometimes, you know, you might have that partner that like isn't telling you, doesn't seem to communicate, and you're like, what the heck? Like, okay, so you don't care, but sometimes it might be almost too overwhelming. It's like, I don't know, there's some quote, I don't know who said it, but I can't remember, but it's a famous quote, and it's like, some things are meant to be felt with the heart, not explained through words. And it's so true. Like some things are almost too overwhelming. It's impossible to put into words. I was actually reading, like, this is kind of funny, but I was reading Tommy Lee's biography of all things. And I came to the part where like Pamela Anderson gave birth to his kid. And anyway, he was saying that, it was just so overwhelming, and he was so overwhelmed with emotion, and he had to go downstairs and write this song. And no offense to Tommy Lee, this sounds really messed up to say, but so I was like, okay, I have to look up this song. Like he was saying it's like the best song I've ever written, and it was just so moving, and the words just poured through me. So I was like, let me look up this song. And like all the commentators are like making fun of it in the comment section, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it was that great of a song. And I think though, what I was thinking is you can feel the emotion though. It's not the best because it's not really in the realm of words. Like you could, it's almost like when someone's feeling so much, they can't put it into words. They can't express it. You know, they might have a really hard time taking that feeling up from the astral plane and then bringing it down to earth and kind of like verbalizing and putting it into language humans can understand. You know, that's not necessarily something that comes easily for everyone. So I feel like with this person, it's not to say that they don't feel strongly, and they want you to know that. Like there's a part of them that can't explain how they feel for you, or doesn't, is like, just doesn't even know how to do that. But it doesn't mean that they don't care, and it doesn't mean that they don't feel things. And they really want you to know that. I also feel like this person could be in the process of like trying to figure out or trying to balance or plan certain things with the Two of Pentacles. They could be really trying to balance their life and figure out things and kind of make arrangements for you and to uh, have, you know, better things for you and to make you happy. I feel like in a way this person is trying to figure out like logistics for their life as well. And so that's a question or something that I feel like they're working on and they're trying to adjust. The Two of Pentacles shows someone balancing two pentacles, and it can show trying to balance different areas of our life, like career with personal life, or family life with a relationship, or career with family life, you know, all those different competing areas. And so this person might be kind of trying to balance, trying to work things out, but they do want you to know that they feel really strongly and that they're just not the best at words. Also, they want you to know that they're like so proud of you and proud to be seen with you. And like they may stalk your social media with the Six of Wands. If you're like no contact with this person, they definitely might lurk on your page and try to see what you're up to. And if you are with them and actively in a relationship, then they're just saying they're so proud to be with you and be seen with you. I feel like for them, they really feel like in awe of you. Like it's like, oh my God, how did I get this prize? Or how did this person get interested in me? Like, look at me and look at them. They're so a 10 out of 10. And then I'm like this like frog in comparison. Yeah, it's actually very sweet, the energy I'm picking up on. Let's get some song cards for you, pile number 2. What songs do we have for pile 2? Beyond Love, Beach House. Yeah, there's a deep sense of love coming through and emotion that I'm getting from this person. Let's see what else. This one says, Now That I Found You, Carly Rae Jepsen. Okay. Trains to Brazil, Guillermo. Okay. Death by a Thousand Cuts, Taylor Swift. High by the Beach, Lana Del Rey. I Remember, Yesayer. Let's get a couple more song cards. Mystery of Love, Sufjan Stevens. Gorgeous, Taylor Swift. I mean, there's a lot of cards just about how deep of a love this person feels and God's plan. So this person really may feel like you guys meeting was like cosmically arranged and was just like an act of God or an act of fate or just a soulmate meeting. We also got Vulnerable by Selena Gomez. So I really feel like this person feels that their emotions for you, their feelings that you've brought out with them, means so much to them. Like it, I feel like in a way this person has never felt so deeply, didn't know they could feel so deeply, and it's been something that has been really touching for them. And I feel like this person is just trying to figure out how they can almost like be good enough for you, how they can do all the things they want to do to take care of you, to be with you. They may be trying to figure out those logistics. If you're like no contact with this person and have been in separation for a while, then they may still, you know, have hopes of like one day we'll reunite. And if we do, maybe I could do this, or maybe I could reach out to them in that way. Maybe I could talk to them about this. Maybe I could slide in the DMs and mention that. But I feel like there's a part of them that feels like they do want to plan things out, and they feel differently to you than I feel like they have felt towards anyone else. I feel like it has made them think about questions about the future, made them start planning things that maybe they didn't think they were going to plan. Maybe they think about, you know, introducing you to their parents, and that's something that they really haven't done with any other partner, you know, or maybe they think about like going on a vacation with you, and that's a big step for them, or that's, you know, or like having you move into their apartment or whatever. But I feel like there's this person kind of like really being blown away, like, oh, I didn't know I could feel this deeply. I didn't know that I could have these emotions for this person. And I feel like, yeah, if this is a no contact, like separation person, then I feel like there's a part of them that may be bittersweet about it or may reminisce and think about you quite a lot. We got I Remember by Yesayer. So I feel like in a way there's a part of them that is almost in denial, like they can't imagine like how, but I never felt this way about someone. And I always thought that when I felt this way, when I felt like I had found my soulmate, then of course we're going to be together forever. That's just how it works. That's just how soulmates work. So of course things are going to work out, and maybe it's really blown them away that like that hasn't happened and they kind of can't imagine that, you know. I feel like meeting you really changed a lot of things for them and really opened their eyes in so many ways. Like I said, I think you turned them on to a lot of different music or a lot of different ideas that they wouldn't have experienced or had if it wasn't for meeting you. And I feel like there's a part of them that kind of feels like they're never going to be the same person. They're telling me they really respect you. They respect everything you've done for yourself, and also I feel like you carry yourself with a lot of inner dignity. Like you are such a beautiful soul is what they're telling me, pile 2, and you have stayed this wonderful, beautiful, open energy. No matter what, you continue to be this open-hearted, kind, loving, and emotionally available person. And I feel like that has done so much for them. In a way, they are saying that their relationship meeting you has really healed them on a deep level and brought them some kind of closure or made them realize their own worth, because they're almost like, if someone as beautiful, perfect, and amazing as pile number 2 could be into me, then I must not be that bad. And it may have helped them if they had low self-esteem or anything like that. It has made them really realize what love can feel like. And they may even think of you as like a soulmate, as someone that they knew from a past lifetime. Um, yeah, I feel like this person, they are saying now they're kind of apologizing. Like sometimes they contact you too much on the astral plane and they're sorry about that, but they just can't help themselves because your energy is so beautiful and so addictive to them that they can't stay away. And they know sometimes you get annoyed by it or you're like, oh, just leave me alone, but they can't help themselves. Let's get into some of these cards for pile number 2. What would this person say to pile 2 if they were going to be completely honest? If they were going to be completely honest with pile 2, what would they say? Ooh, okay, that just threw a bunch of cards away. But this one says wishing well. And we also got talisman. I feel like you have been a guiding force in their life, like especially for those of you guys who have been no contact for this person. In a way, like I feel like even if, I mean, for everyone, even if this is a new relationship, if you're in a relationship, it feels like this person has made a lot of changes to their life path because of you. Either because they're still actively planning out what a life with you would be like, or because having you no longer in their life, you changed their perspective on so many things and made them think differently and saw a worth and a value in them that I feel like they really have never felt before and really healed them. So I feel like now when they think about what they want to do with their life, they may have even changed their personal style because of you. They may have changed their life goals. Maybe they were going into one career and now meeting you, you know, just open their eyes of like, oh, that doesn't satisfy me. That's just not where my soul is guiding me. I feel like you have awakened them a lot spiritually. I don't know if you talked about your spirituality to this person or you talked about like tarot or astrology with them, but I feel like that has really opened their eyes as well. And that has really left a mark on them and made them more into those things or more open to those things or just more aware of like the other dimension around us, the astral plane, and how we're all connected and all of that, you know? Let's get some more cards. Ooh, dry desert. What would this person say to pile number 2 if they were being completely honest? So we got, let's see. Also, that was the protecting treasure card that I almost kind of like randomly fell out. So I'm going to use it. Rock bottom and balancing act. So we got dry desert, rock bottom, balancing act, protecting treasure. Yeah, and if you guys did go in separation with this person, that may have really been a low point in their life. They may have really felt like they hit rock bottom when you guys stopped being together. I feel like this person is saying if you guys are in separation, that there was an immaturity that they had when you guys met. And it's almost like you turned them into a man or a woman. You made them grow up. You made them realize the things they needed to change. I feel like for them, they have been willing now to compromise on certain things that like they never would have in the past. And they're looking back at that younger version of themselves from when you guys very first met, and they're kind of laughing like, oh my God, I was so immature and I didn't know what was missing. And they're looking back and they're almost laughing about when you met, how clueless they were, that they never realized the effect you would have on them or how important you would be to them one day. Like they're laughing and kind of shaking their head being like, oh my God, if only I'd known when, you know, I was sitting in that classroom and she walked in, or if only I'd known at that meeting that this was going to be my coworker and this was going to be like the person that affected me the most, or on that blind date or whatever, if I'd only known. And they're kind of like shaking their head and being like, oh wow, I might have run out of that restaurant if I'd known, but like in a funny way, in a joking way, because I feel like they're actually so grateful for you guys meeting and they're so happy that you guys did come together. But they're saying they've also had to work for it. They're kind of laughing like, but it has not been easy, because I feel like they had to make a lot of changes, or they had to like really grow up and improve themselves. And they're happy with the work, but they're saying it was hard. And it's almost like their life was easier before they met you, because one, they didn't know what it was like to feel so deeply, and even feeling those emotions has been very overwhelming and a lot for them. And two, I feel like as well, it's like you raised the bar for them and you made them realize they wanted more, or realize they could do more. You saw a lot of potential in them. And even though at the time they may have even resented that and been like, oh, you're putting pressure on me, or they may have felt like, wow, like you have all these expectations for yourself, but that doesn't mean I have to live that way. And you know, I feel like what's coming to my mind, there's a quote from, I'm reading a book about Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. I love Elizabeth Taylor, maybe because we are Pisces the same degree. We have the same birthday, February 27th. But so they have quotes at the beginning of each chapter. And the quote for one of the chapters was Richard Burton saying, Elizabeth taught me about like diamonds and I taught her about beer. Or something like that. Or Elizabeth taught me about caviar and I taught her about beer. It's some kind of funny quote, and Richard Burton's kind of like poking fun at the fact that like Elizabeth Taylor's so glamorous, a true Pisces, but but you know, she introduced him to all that. And by the way, he's a Scorpio, so their chart is very interesting. But they have that iconic like Pisces Scorpio connection. It's a really interesting book. It's called like Furious Love, and I'm not fully finished. But the point of that is I feel like, yeah, there's like that kind of like influence that you've had on this person. Like it feels like the way Elizabeth Taylor was this glamorous movie star, and when she met Richard Burton, he was in the movies, but he wasn't on her level. And he was like already successful and had money, but he wasn't splashing it out the way she liked to live. And then even though at first he may have been like kind of shocked by it, he ended up being, you know, very like loving that world, and ended up buying her some of her most expensive jewels that anyone ever gave her, and lavishing like millions of dollars on her per item. Like he would spend $1 million for a necklace. And he went from being like this coal miner from like Wales, and then he became an actor, but he was kind of in the theater scene. And then suddenly he was like obsessed with Elizabeth, and he was happy to live her life, even though at first he kind of would tease her about it or make fun of it. And it reminds me of that vibe, like someone kind of being shocked or being coming into someone's world, and at first maybe they're a little like, ooh, this is, I don't know about this. This is not what I expected for myself. This is not what I ever thought I'd have in my life. This is not what I wanted. But then kind of loving it and kind of being like, oh, this is like a new world, but in such a good way. Like this has opened so many doors for me, and and opened my eyes in so many ways. And like, I love it. Let's get some cards for pile 2 of what this person would say if they were being completely honest with pile number 2. So we got the Dream Walker. Ooh, so they might dream of you, pile number 2. Then we got the Swan Queen, transformation, intuition, patience, Keeper of the scales, fairness, balance, the sacred union. Oh, this is so sweet, because honestly, I was getting like just soulmate vibes, because of course, the keeper of the scales totally reminds me of Libra. It has the scales from Libra, and Libra rules the seventh house of relationships, love, partnerships. So there's so many like sweet energies coming through, and I feel like this person, you know, we have intuition here, which is connecting with Neptune, the astral plane. We also have dreams, also connecting with the astral plane. It feels like this is a very spiritual connection, and this person keeps talking about that. And then we have the seventh house of partnerships. So this person is saying, you mean so much to me. You are a main relationship. Even if this is like no contact and you guys haven't been together for a really long time, or you haven't talked to him forever, this person, you made a huge effect on them, and they are still super grateful for that, and they still think of you as like the love of their life, or a major love in their life, a pivotal turning point for them that they've taken away so much good from. They feel like also, you know, whatever you guys had, whatever you met, it was like a fated meaning. It was like a prearranged on the astral plane, let's meet up, you know, whether it was we're supposed to be together for the rest of our lives, or whether we're supposed to meet temporarily, come into each other's lives and then part. They feel like you left them better off. They feel like they became a better person through you. They learned a lot from you, and they gained so much from your connection, and they're so grateful to you. Their higher self is so happy with that, and so glad that they met you. They can't imagine their life if they hadn't met you. And then we have finally the sacred union, again saying just, yes, to me this is deep love. This is like my soulmate. This is someone that I am so glad that I ran into them. I'm so glad my life wouldn't be the same. Like when you think about, speaking of that book, Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton, either one of their names, that's who you think of. If I say Richard Burton, I know, you know, some people don't even know who that is, but you think of Elizabeth Taylor. Or if I say Elizabeth Taylor, even though she was such a famous actress, like the Angelina Jolie of her day, could sell out every movie, so famous since she was a child, and very glamorous, you think of Richard Burton, even though they got divorced. And I haven't gotten to that part in the book yet, but anyway, they got divorced, and so technically they were together for I don't know how many years, but they were together for like I want to say less than 10 years, or maybe 10-15 years, and then went their separate ways, right? Like Elizabeth and Richard, they both got famous on their own. They both had their careers on their own. Then they meet. Then they have this incredible, tempestuous, passionate relationship that was so famous. But then they also divorced, and they both went on to marry and be with other people. But everyone thinks of them as in their relationship. And that's such like a soulmate energy thing, you know, that that like no matter what happens, no matter what else happens in the physical, that you will always be connected with that person, and people will always associate you, and your life has changed through that connection. And I feel like that's what's going on here. Like this person is just like, whatever happens with us, whatever happened with us, like I'm still so in love with you, and like on a deep spiritual level, not just a physical like, ooh, you're sexy, you're hot, or yeah, like you're my partner and I'm committed way, but in a like genuinely in love, and in love with you as a soul. Let's get some astrology dice for you. Pile number 2. So we got the 8th house, Virgo, and the sun. So Leo, Virgo, Scorpio energy. So the sun is the father. It's male energy. It's also the source of energy for the whole universe. And also the sun rules the 5th house of like love, relationships. That's one of the things. Also hobbies and creative pursuits, but it's kind of like a fun love relationship. It's not got the commitment level that we see with like the 7th house. So I feel like this person thinks of you as like so fun to be around. They may see you as a soulmate, because the sun kind of is, but yeah, the sun is your soul, you know, in astrology. The sun is your identity. And I feel like for you, this person is very, like they see the best side of you. They see who you really are, and they feel like you see who they really are, and they're just coming through as very grateful for that you saw them with true honesty, because the sun also reveals everything it touches. If you can think about, you know, maybe if you're like trying to navigate and it's really early morning and you can't really see stuff, and then the sun comes out and suddenly everything's bathed in light and you can see every detail. And there's no sun like sunlight, right? Like anyone who's been sleeping in a room and there's no blackout curtains can tell you that. Like nothing can light up and illuminate a room like the sun. And I feel like they, you know, you saw them how they truly were. You saw every detail. You didn't see, you weren't in delusion about who they were. The difference is you saw who they really were, but you loved it and you accepted it, and that meant so much to this person. With Virgo, the sixth house, this person may also be trying to go through some like self-improvement. They could be trying to, like I said, get some logistics in order to get better. They may have kind of been a little critical of themselves through being around you. Like maybe there was a part of them that really worked on, oh, I need to fix this, I need to fix that. This came out. Like I realize now that pile number 2 is probably judging this and they probably wouldn't be impressed with that, so let me fix that up. Yeah, that could be an energy that's definitely with that Virgo. Then we have the 8th house. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, and the 8th house is a very intense house. It definitely can deal with past traumas, past lifetimes, and it's a very sexual energy. It can be that connection that you have with someone where you just feel obsessed with them. Like you just feel like, oh my God, I can't get enough of this person. I'm addicted to them. I can't stay away from them. This person is like everything to me. And, you know, it's not the calmness of the 7th house. It's the shared relationship, but with the added intensity from the 8th house of like desperation and obsession and love, but that's a little bit spicier than the 7th house. So yeah, I feel like this person definitely feels really strongly about you, to say the least, pile 2. Yeah, they really care about you. So that is what I have for you. If you liked this reading and you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where you'll get access to over 90 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. I just posted a reading all about your spiritual powers and gifts. Before that, about what people have realized about you. And before that, a reading about your person and whether you know them from a past life, what your soul connection is with them. That might be a good one for you guys to watch, considering the intensity of this connection. So if you're interested in any of those, or like I said, over the over 90 exclusive readings that you'll get access to as soon as you sign up, then you can head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can get a tarot reading, an astrology session, a channeling session. You can have it be half hour, a full hour-long session. You can have it be pre-recorded or live. There's lots of ways to customize it. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath, or not underneath, just the link in my description for my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards and see what this person would say to you if they were going to be completely honest and tell you the truth. Okay, so we got the King of Cups. So this person may be hiding their emotions from you a little bit. They may not want you to know that they are in deep and they are feeling things for you. They may want to keep that on the back burner and kind of maybe make you think that they don't really care that much. They're not that into it. Like they're kind of like mid, or they're just not feeling super emotional towards you. They may want you to think that they have more options than they do, is what I'm getting as well. We're going to get into that more, and I'm going to see if there's other cards confirming that. But I feel like this person kind of wants you to think that they are maybe like they have more options than they do, or maybe that they're dating around, but maybe even if they are dating around, their mind keeps going back to you. It's almost like they don't want you to know the power you have over them. Let's get some more cards for you, pile number 3. We want to know what this person would tell pile number 3 if they were being completely honest. Oh, that's too many cards. We just want one at a time, Spirit. We already got the Page of Cups, now the 8 of Wands, Page of Cups reversed. What would they tell pile 3 if they were being completely honest? The 6 of Swords and the 8 of Wands. The 9 of Pentacles as well. To me, this person also has a little bit of a shifty energy. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like I can't get a full read of them. Like sometimes I feel like they are actually saying they may be being a player, and they don't want you to know that. Maybe what they're hiding from you is like, I'm still kind of up to no good. But for others, I feel like they're actually wanting you to think that. And I'm like, I don't know what this person is doing. I'm really not sure yet. I'm going to pull some more cards. But I feel like this person, what it is deep down is like there's this feeling of insecurity and almost this feeling that if you knew everything they have going on, you would be like laughing at them. Like there's this fear that you're going to laugh at them. There's this fear that you're going to dismiss them. And I feel like they really want you to be impressed by them. That's something that really matters for them, is for you to be like wowed and be like, oh, wow, oh my gosh, look at pile number 3, this person, they're amazing. They want you to kind of like see them with awe. And I feel like this person really, it does matter to them what you think. And that's something I also feel like they don't want you to fully know, is that they might act like, yeah, I don't really care what you think, or like, yeah, it doesn't really matter to me, you know, your opinion, whatever. But I feel like it does. I feel like that does weigh on them. What does this person, what would they tell pile 3 if they were completely honest? The Queen of Wands, that they find you very sexy, first of all. And then we also have the 2 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands reversed. They may be lurking your social media and not want you to know. What would they tell pile 3 if they were going to be completely honest with pile 3? This one is the Ace of Cups. Yeah, I feel like this person felt a very deep connection with you. It's almost giving me the vibes of someone who has like a reputation as a player, or who has maybe wants that reputation, wants people to think that they're very cool, maybe wants people to think that they're like dating around. This person may believe that like in order to get a partner that you have to play games, or you have to be Mr. Cool or Miss Cool. They may even be dishonest with you and tell you like, yeah, I had a few dates last week, or they may play it cool around you. Like I feel like this person might not like tell you they're into you, or they might not outwardly flirt with you. And sometimes you might be like, am I crazy? Because I get a vibe from this person. Like, I feel like they are into me, but there's a lot of like holding themselves back. And there's a lot of being very afraid. I feel like what they don't want you to know deep down is how afraid they are of you and how much they think of you as like amazing. And I feel like this person really holds that back. There's a really strong sense that if you knew how much they liked you, you would run away and you would be like, no, like you're lame or whatever. I feel like this person also may think of you as just very cool, with the Queen of Wands coming out. They may think of you as just like very sophisticated, very cool, like you just like they like your musical taste, they like your taste in movies, they think of you as someone who probably has a lot of friends, or they think of you as someone who's very well liked and very good socially. And I feel like they do a lot of that comparison because deep down I feel like this person feels like a big like geek or a big nerd or something. Like they feel like they have to present this reputation or this image towards you, that you will only be impressed with them if they act a certain way, or that you think these certain things. And I feel like this person does a lot to like not let you know the full identity, not let you know everything they have going on, and to present an image of like success and everything's cool and my life is going great and whatever. Yeah, and so I feel like they kind of may have even, I could see this being someone that you're in separation with, and if that's the case, maybe they always played it cool. Maybe they never fully like came to you and told you exactly how much they liked you. Maybe you were always kind of left not guessing, but like left with like it being open-ended. Like you're like, okay, I think they like me. Or if you're in a relationship with this person, maybe sometimes you ask like for more words of affirmation, or sometimes they're not the most like expressive with you about that. They wouldn't tell you how much they, you know, had fun with you when you guys went out to the movies together, or they wouldn't sit down and be like, you know, I think you're amazing. Or you might ask them questions like, so what's happening for the future? And they get cagey. And in a way, I feel like this person, for some of them, they might even resent, like if they feel like you have power over them, or if they feel like their emotions are really activated for the first time, that could be really scary for them. And they could maybe have never experienced this level of emotion before. And it could be something that they sometimes try to sabotage or run away from, or kind of like I can't do this, and push someone away because they don't want you to see them as they really are. And they're afraid that if you saw them for who they truly, truly were underneath all of it, that you would just run away. You wouldn't be interested anymore. I feel like this person also, they might not even want you to know your full power with the Queen of Wands. I'm not going to lie. They may sometimes, maybe worry that if you knew how sexy, how attractive they find you, that you would go leave them and find someone better. You would not put up with them anymore if you knew your power, if you fully understood that you are like a 10 out of 10 in this person's mind, that you would just be on to the next and you wouldn't stick around for them. And that may be something that this person also worries about or kind of is nervous about. It's like, oh my gosh, what if they figure out, like, what if I feel like this person also could be very jealous of you. They may really worry about you meeting someone new, or you dating someone or hitting it off with someone, because I feel like, again, they see you as so attractive and they see you as someone who, it's almost like you're a little unaware of how sexy you are, pile number three. Like, you know it a little bit, like you're aware on some level, but on a deeper level, I feel like you don't fully appreciate how magical this person finds you and how they see you as, like, you could get whoever you wanted. You could be dating absolutely anyone. And I feel like sometimes this person even wonders, like, why are they with me? Or why are they flirting with me? If you haven't dated this person and maybe you're flirting with them, or there was, just you just know them somehow, I feel like they find you more attractive than they let on. There may even be a sense of, like, they can't know. I don't want them to know. Maybe even, if you're like working with them being worried that if you knew, you'd be like freaked out or whatever. I feel like this person is saying, though, they know you get a lot of attention from others, and it's almost like they're afraid that if they praise you or if they give you that attention, that they'll just be another one of your list. Like, they just see you as having this long list of people that are so into you, and they don't want you to just dismiss them as, like, oh, just another one of, there's so many, I have a lot of suitors, yeah, a lot of people like me. So I feel like for them, they kind of try to not like sabotage you, but like, it's almost like if you were aware of how gorgeous they found you, that you would maybe take advantage of that, or then you would have this power over them. I feel like that's what this person is afraid of. So that's why I feel like they really try to kind of play it cool and just act like everything is fine, and that they see you as a friend, and that it's not that deep, and that they don't really care that much. But I feel like deep down, they're very fascinated by you and a little, like I said, intimidated by you. Like, they may literally lurk your social media and love to see what you're up to, love to see what you're doing with your day, because I feel like they're just so fascinated by you and by your life. And they think of it as a very exciting way of living. Like, I feel like there's something about you that they find so unexpected. It's almost like they're saying they haven't ever met anyone like you, and they couldn't have ever even imagined someone like you. And they kind of find all your little quirks and your differences and all your eccentricities so interesting. There's something about you that I feel like just fascinates them. They could like study you under a microscope and never get bored with it. I feel like for them, they also are saying you have such a cool sense of style. It's almost like suddenly now they're just turning into a fan and going through like this list of compliments. They just feel like they kind of can't get enough of you. And I feel like they've also taken inspiration from you. Like, they may literally have like changed their favorite musical artist because of something you said or something you mentioned. They may have decided to change their clothing style to like be more similar to something you dress, or a way you dress. They may have changed their perspective on something like political or entertainment wise because you mention it offhandedly. And I feel like they really don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know how cool they find you and how interesting you are. I feel like this person may have literally, some of them, I'm not gonna lie, when you may have met them, they may have been tied up in another relationship, or there's an energy of them dating other people. There may even be like an energy of them dating other people because they're more comfortable with those other people, because they feel more power over those other people. Whereas with you, I feel like sometimes they kind of feel powerless. Sometimes they kind of feel like, oh my God, I'm just a dweeb in comparison to pile two. Like I bring nothing to the table. And I don't feel like this person loves that feeling. I mean, who would? But they definitely don't love that. They definitely feel more comfortable when they're the one like calling the shots and they're the ones in control. So I feel like sometimes they would downplay their intentions towards you, where they would act like, oh, it's not that deep and I don't really care that much. But I feel like if you sensed a vibe with this person, or if you were in a relationship with them and you were like, oh, I feel like they care more, even though they're not saying it, I feel like they care more. This might even be the energy of someone you're in a relationship with, and like they don't want to say I love you for the longest time, or they don't want to say, they don't want to agree to monogamy, or they don't want to, you know, make plans to get married or talk about it or anything like that. And I feel like some of it is this person just being very stubborn and wanting to have the upper hand and wanting to be the one to call the shots, and wanting to be in a relationship where they feel like they're the big one. They're the one in charge. You know what I mean? Let's get some of these cards. Let's get some of these message cards. Mystery of Love, Sufjan Stevens. It's reminding me of this TikTok. Like I almost feel like laughing because there was this TikTok this lady made where she said the way to make every guy like you and make them happy is to call them big guy, and or big dog, to call them big dog, and to be like, hey, big dog, wow. And so she like showed her doing it to a bunch of random guys, like guys at her workplace or like random customers, and they were all like so happy. And there were guys in the comments saying like, it would make my day if I was called big dog. So funny, part of like male psychology, I guess. I definitely can't relate as a woman to that, but God bless men for thinking the way they think. But yeah, it's giving me that vibe of like someone that, it's just like they just want to feel in control. They just want to feel powerful. They just want to feel like they are the big dog in the room who's like calling the shots. So we got August, Taylor Swift, and let's see, we got Wait For Me, Hall & Oates. And this is Fields of Gold, Sting. How does this person really feel, and what would they tell pile 3 if they were honest? I'm also getting a vibe of like, maybe I'm not ready with that Wait For Me, and that's just something I just heard in my head. Super bass, Nicki Minaj. Money, Power, Glory, Lana Del Rey. 5 Years Time, Noah and the Whale, and Call It What You Want, Taylor Swift. And let's get one final card. Okay, 2 final cards. I Was a Fool, Tegan and Sarah, and Romeo Chairlift. So I feel like this person, it's almost like they're this softie and they have this really soft, sweet, emotional side, but they don't want you to know it and they don't want the world to know it. And they kind of try to really tamp it down. They may even have this idea that like, if they are soft and emotional, that's weak, that's pathetic, it's lame. So I feel like they might kind of run away from that, or try to tamp that down, try to escape it. They may have ideas about being unlovable, or like avoidant attachment or something, where they think if this person really saw me for who I was, they would like leave me, they would abandon me. So let me sabotage it now. At least then I'm in control. If I'm the one, not returning their calls, then I'm the one in control. And I feel like this person felt very emotional and vulnerable around you. They may also even have a fear of love. Like they may have had their heart broken or something, and now they're very like reactive. They're very like overreactive, sensing a fear in everything. Like whenever they start to feel an emotion, they're like, oh no, let me get away from this. I feel like this person also felt very competent and powerful before you came into their life, and it's almost like there was something about you that destabilized them. Like I'm hearing that song, I've Got You Under My Skin, where I feel like there's something about you that almost like annoys them but brings them in, like something about you that they don't know why they can't stop thinking about you. Maybe they would never have said like, oh, I want to date someone exactly like pile 3, and maybe they sometimes roll their eyes, or they would be like, oh, come on, pile 3, you're ridiculous, or that's so silly, or oh, you're so ditzy, or you're so clumsy, or something. But it's like they just can't get away from you, and they feel very tied to you regardless, and they feel very like fixated with you. I feel like they may be embarrassed and not want you to know how many times their thoughts go to you throughout the day. They may not want you to know that you have this power over them. Money, Power, Glory by Lana Del Rey. Like you are this powerful. Like if you knew, I feel like in a way, how much your thoughts or your opinions, or if you're like making a joke and they come into the office and you say like, hey, nice tie, where did you get that, the kids section, haha, and you're just joking and it's like a funny comment and you're just having fun, or you say like, hey, isn't that kind of a dorky tie, that looks like something my dad would wear, and you're laughing and you mean nothing bad by it and you're completely joking, but they might think about that all the time. They might laugh it off and be like, hey, it's a cool tie, and your dad maybe should update his ties then because this is pretty fresh, or I don't know, he might play it off, but then later go ahead and throw away that tie and never wear it again. It's that vibe of like, I don't want you to know, but I'm thinking about you. I don't want you to know how much I replay your words in my mind and how much the things you say have an influence on me and how much I do want to impress you deep down, but I don't want you to know that because I'm embarrassed, because it makes me feel lame that I even feel like this. And I feel like this person also may think of you as someone who just does your own thing and like you're not thinking of them like that. Like it's a one-way, one-sided attraction. Like they're thinking of you, they're obsessed with you, but you're like, yeah, pile threes, okay, I guess. Like I don't hate them, but you're not like drawn to them the way they're drawn to you. Like it feels like they feel obsessive over you. They feel sometimes like, oh my God, I can't get enough of this person. But they're also very much self-sabotaging it. So I don't want to say, it's all sunshine and roses and they're thinking of you all the time and it's just like, woohoo, I want to marry this person, because I feel like they also, they start thinking of you, then they kind of like turn their mind off, then they tell themselves, what are you doing? And they kind of beat themselves up of like, why are your thoughts on them again? And they're very much trying to stay in control and battling their free will. And in the spiritual realm, like free will is a huge power that we have as humans. So like even if you did a love spell, you might not be able to get someone to break their free will, and that's very important and very sacred. So if this person is committed to the idea that like, no, I need to be in control, and they're not willing to work through that on their own and confront that idea, then it might not be worthy of continuing to think of this person, because it feels like this is some kind of trauma that they would have to work through on their own. And they would have to be okay with being vulnerable with another soul and letting that person in fully into their life that I don't know if this person is ready for or not. Like I feel like there's a part of them that just is always sabotaging, or is always running, or is never fully ready to let someone in like that. Like there's a part of them that I think always feels like they have to call the shots, or always feels like if they're not in control, then they're losing and they're a loser. And there's some like deep-seated trauma here with needing to feel in charge, unemotional, getting triggered when their emotions come out, feeling like they need to be the one who's managing it all and got it all handled, and you destabilizing that, and on one hand them kind of loving that and being like invigorated by it, but on the other hand being like, no, 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 no. And that's the thing, is like if they're still in that no, no, no energy, then that could be very hard to make a relationship work. Let's get into some of these cards for pile number 3. We want to know how this person feels, or what they would say to pile 3 if they were being completely honest. So we got home, gentle gardener. They're telling me, if they were being completely honest, some of the kooky or crazy things you've told them. I don't know if you guys have told them things about like tarot or astrology, or I don't know. It's like almost I'm getting like something zany that you told them and they rolled their eyes, or they were like, oh, please. They made a joke of it, or they like laughed at you, but they think about it, and or maybe like you played them a song and they were like, who is this? This is so lame. Haha. And then they went home and like downloaded it or looked it up on Spotify. Like I feel like, don't want you to know the influence and how cool they find you and how interesting and unique they find you. And they may think of you as home for them. Like they may really feel like, I was never honest. I was never able to be honest with someone else the way I'm honest with pile 3. They may have told you things that they like never told anyone else, that they always played close to the vest and like kept inside, and then they find themselves pouring their heart out to you and just like telling you it all, and there's a part of them that's like, oh, this is really scary. Also, we got follow the leader, and I feel like in a way what this person is not willing to be honest about is how they actually think you're the leader in the relationship. They think you're the one that like wears the pants, so to speak. You're the one who calls the shots, and I feel like you have a lot more control over their mood and their day than they want you to know. Like maybe if you're talking to them and you kind of like make an offhand comment about, how you read their project and it was good, but maybe it could be improved. And then they're thinking about that the rest of the day, or you don't smile at them that morning because you're in a hurry and you don't see them, you just walk past them. And then they're like ruminating over that. Or you're laughing next to them and you like touch their arm and then they're like, oh my gosh, wow. And they can't stop thinking about it. And I feel like there's a part of them that is really like, oh, this is insane. What am I doing? Also, this person does not want you to know, but they think of you as out of their league. They think of you as physically very, very attractive and beautiful and out of their league. We got the Queen of Wands for you guys, and I feel like they think of you as super, super sexy. The Queen of Wands is like that sex symbol energy almost. I mean, she's definitely the most sexual of the Queen cards. She has her legs open on the Rider-Waite deck, and she's got this kind of sexuality to her that the other cards don't have. They might have elements, but not the same way the Wands does. And I feel like for you, they see you as like so sexy, like this bombshell, this fantasy. And it's almost like they never want you to know that the reason why maybe they're too afraid to approach you or whatever this is because they don't think they're on your level. They think of you as like a dork, or just like it brings out maybe even like high school insecurities. They may seem very confident and very cool, calm, and collected now, but the person they may have been in like middle school or high school may have been kind of dorky. And now they're like looking back thinking, if they knew that that was me, they would never talk to me again. You know what I mean? They would think I was just this big loser, and that may really bother them. So it's like they don't want you to know this lopsided power relationship they see you as having. They may think of you as above them or like Miss Cool, and then them as like a big old loser dork, and that may bother them as well. Let's get some of these cards for pile number 3. We want to know what this person would say to pile 3 if they were being completely honest. So we got the Ice Queen. I'm telling you, they put you up on a pedestal, pile 3. The Spiral Dancer, Circuitous Route, Perception. The Wise Woman of Wonderland, Integrity, Compromise. The Camel Boy, Small Steps, Asking for Help. And the Eyes of Beauty, Positive Expectations, Clarity. I just love this contrast between like all these Queen cards and the beautiful dancer, the Eyes of Beauty, the Wise Woman, and then this little boy that says asking for help, and he's just on his camel playing a flute. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's all these powerful, sexy looking women, there's queens, there's these beautiful gorgeous elfin looking lady, and then there's like this little boy. And I feel like that's almost how this person feels around you. Like, they see you as like this almost goddess or god, or just like, oh, they're so amazing. And then it's like, look at me, just kind of this little shrimp. And I don't think they want you to know that. I think this person does put up a facade. I think they've done everything to try to change and improve themselves and get better. And it's almost like when they're around you, you trigger them and bring them back to that little boy version or that little girl version that they tried to move away from. But there's a part of them that likes that too, because I feel like you're not judgmental. When that dorky side comes out, even if they do make a silly, stupid comment, or if you are teasing them about like, are you really wearing that? You're not actually doing it in like a mean way. You still like them, you still enjoy them, and you see the good in them. And it's just this person's insecurity that holds them back from like fully embracing that and fully opening up and letting you in that way. I feel like for them as well, again, they see you as so attractive. We got the Eyes of Beauty, and they just see you as like such a catch, such a 10. I don't think they want you to know that they see it as like, they just, if they are dating you actively, they feel like they got the deal of a lifetime. Like, they feel like this is like completely lopsided relationship, like one of those couples that you pass in the street where you're like, huh? Like, what are they doing together? They just don't fit. She's beautiful and he's, ugh. Or the opposite, know, he's gorgeous and like, who is she? So I feel like this person may sometimes, you know, try to hold you back from knowing fully the worth they see in you, the beauty they see in you, the fact that they're a little intimidated by you, and the fact that they see you as someone who has so many options and just could date whoever you want. And that might really hold this person back from even asking you out at all in the first place. I could totally see that. Let's get some astrology dice for you, pile number 3. So we got Leo, we got Mercury, and we got the 8th house. Okay, so we have Leo, Gemini, and Virgo, and then the 8th house. So let's start with Leo. So Leo, of course, is the center of attention. Literally all the planets rotate around the sun. So the sun, which rules Leo, is the center of attention. Actually, you know, everyone says the world doesn't rotate around you, but it rotates around Leo. I love that joke, but yeah, it's true. And it sums up a vibe for Leo. So with Leo, you know, I feel like they see you as that Leo. Leo energy is so vivacious, so outgoing, so fun to be around. They can be the life of the party and very generous, very creative, great in conversation, and just really like that spark that really you want at the party. Like you want someone there who's got some Leo energy and shining brightly and can talk with everyone and is exciting, and Leo just does that better than anyone else. And so I feel like they see you as that center of attention, as that sun that people are just drawn to, as that beautiful bright light that has so many options and so much power. I mean, Leo literally connects with fame, star power. There's a lot of famous Leos because Leo rules those creative pursuits, and Leo just gets attention no matter what it does. So I feel like they just see you as like, wow, 10 out of 10. Oh my gosh, everyone loves them. They bring so much to the table. And then again, comparing themselves and kind of being like, ooh, and then there's me. With Mercury, this person may be a little bit of an overthinker. They may be someone that kind of like can be their own worst enemy and get in their head and really ruminate. Another energy I'm getting is with that Mercury, and it also connects with the wise woman of Wonderland. I meant to say this, but I feel like this person also doesn't want you to know that like they know you're very smart. There's something about them teasing you about something or giving you a hard time with something and kind of like rolling their eyes at you about something, but like deep down inside they know that you're really smart, or they know that you have a good point, or they know that you're not whatever they like to say, like, oh, you're crazy, or like, oh, you're so wild, or whatever. And it's like, even though they may tease you, they know deep down that you're not that way, and that you are extremely wise, extremely smart, extremely well put together, and they actually really like that about you. They may try to laugh it off and act like, oh my gosh, like, well, you're just, come on, you're an idiot about that. And like, they may tease you, but deep down, they do have a massive amount of respect for you, pile 3. Then we also have the 8th house. So the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. It is a house of sexuality. It's also a house of obsession. So this person may be a little obsessed with you, and it may freak them out themselves. You know, they may be a little like, oh my God, why am I still thinking of this person? And the 8th house as well is sexuality. So it can be that really passionate connection. And this person may not want you to know how attractive they find you, how turned on they are by you, and how much they think of you in that context. They may kind of want to keep things either professional or just play it cool, or act like, yeah, we're dating, but you know, whatever, I have like options, and I've dated other people. And they may not want you to know they think of you all the time, and they are really turned on by you, and they find you so attractive, and they feel like being with you is like, oh my gosh, just like so much electricity, so much chemistry, so much heat and passion. So they may hold a lot back. I feel like a lot of it is because, again, they kind of worry about being the one in power, wanting to make sure they are kind of calling the shots and holding the reins to the connection. They don't want to feel like you're the one bossing them around, and they may do things to try to kind of like keep the power back. But yeah, that is what I have for you, pile number 3. I really hope that resonates, guys. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I have over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get when you sign up. I just posted a reading all about what people have realized about you, your secret talents and gifts for spirituality, and also what your connection is with this person, whether you know them from a past life. I kind of blanked out on all the different topics, but there's so much content to go through. Sometimes I forget because there's, like I said, over 90 exclusive readings that you'll find on Patreon. So there's new stuff going up all the time. Sometimes it's hard to keep track, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, and you also get to vote and suggest on new topics. So it's very interactive. There's a lot to go through on Patreon. If you're interested in signing up, go to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can get a tarot reading, an astrology session, a channeling session. You can sign up for a half-hour or a full hour-long reading, and you can choose, obviously, what we talk about, what we go into, whether it's pre-recorded, whether it's live. You get to really customize your session, so it's the perfect reading for you. If that sounds good, go to my website, briarrosetarot.com. A link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey Pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards and see what this person would say to you if they were going to be completely honest with you. What this person would say to Pile 4 if they were going to be completely honest. Ooh, we got the Page of Wands and we got the Ten of Cups. Interesting combination. Let's see, what would this person say to Pile 4 if they were going to be completely honest? We got the Hanged Man, okay, and the Nine of Wands reversed. This person is telling me something about like something they need to take care of, maybe not feeling ready. I feel like this person is saying that they know that they're attractive, or they try to do things to be attractive, but they worry about their ability to like fully be in a relationship, or fully not even be relationship as in like be loyal. Maybe that's part of it, but it's almost like all those other things they need to have lined up. Like I feel like deep down, what they are too afraid to tell you is all their fears of inadequacy and fears that they're going to disappoint you and not be good enough. I feel like there's a part of them that really worries that either they might, I don't know, fall back into old habits, or they're just not going to have the financial readiness to be with you, or they can't bring you everything that you need in your life. And I feel like there's a part of them that worries that other people are better for you, or that you aren't just going to be unsatisfied with them. You're not going to be happy with them at the end of the day. Let me get some cards. Like the Page of Wands, it contrasts so much with the Ten of Cups. And I feel like it's almost like they want to be ready for the Ten of Cups, but then they also feel like they're still that Page of Wands. They still feel like they're a little bit of that disruptive, maybe partier, maybe like just, okay, that's way too many. We just need one at a time, Spirit. Maybe like that younger stage in their life where they haven't figured everything out yet. And there's a part of them that the lovers, they are very, very drawn to you, but it's almost like, am I ready with everything else? All those other logistics that I need to have in place. You know, it's almost like sometimes you can feel those emotions, you can care, you can love that person, but if you don't have like the coping skills to be able to like manage an argument in a relationship, if you don't have the loyalty with the Three of Cups, and maybe I feel like this person, what they don't say, oh, I'm going to ask Spirit to clarify the Three of Cups, Spirit, because we definitely need to see what that's about. Clarify the Three of Cups. What is that about? Okay, we got the Five of Cups and the Seven of Wands. So they may worry about you cheating, or they may worry about themselves and their just ability. You know, the Three of Cups is a really fun card, and it can be about partying. It can also sometimes be about cheating. So they may have worries about you cheating or themselves. Like it's almost like, again, take what resonates, leave the rest. You know, take what hits you as like, oh, that's the fear, because only you can know, and it's a general reading, so it's meant for a large group. So you want to take the specific things that just hit you and resonate deeply. But with the Three of Cups, they may worry that like they're going to fall back into the party scene, or that they're not quite ready, or they can't get their life together in time. And I feel like there's a part of them that like they care about you more than anything. They also might be worried about you getting that impression. I'm hearing, especially for those of you guys who are in separation from this person, maybe like no contact or whatever, they may worry that you're gonna think that they are like sleeping with everyone, or that they don't care about you and they moved on. I feel like there's a part of them that wants you to think that, but also is like terrified of you thinking that, you know? And also, like, I feel like this person, what they're bringing through is just this feeling of inadequacy and this feeling of not being good enough and not being capable to do all the things you need in a relationship. And what a loss that would feel to them if they ever fully lost you, if they ever sabotage things. Like, I feel like this person worries about their own self-sabotage, because I feel like they've never wanted anything as much as they want you. They've never cared about something this much before in the past. So it's like, why am I such a mess up? I feel like in a way, it's almost like, say you never really wanted something. Say like you were applying for jobs, but you didn't really care. So you probably, like, if your parents are on your back and they're telling you you've got to apply for jobs or something, you know, you'll put together a resume, but you're not going to spend that long on it. But say you have a dream job, a dream company you want to work for. Like, for some people, I don't know, maybe they want to work for like Elon Musk, or maybe they grew up loving Disney and so they're like obsessed with Disney, or they really want to work for some fashion like Vogue or whatever it is. It could be any, but it's your dream and you're obsessed with it. And that's like, oh my God, I would be amazed if that happened. And if you get like that job opportunity there and they say, hey, send your resume in, you are going to spend, you know, 3 hours suddenly going over your resume. And probably that thing that didn't bother you before, like the 3-month gap that you have in your resume, or the fact that you know, worked at a lemonade stand in high school and you still added that on your resume to pad it out, suddenly that's going to really bother you. And suddenly you're going to be like, oh, why didn't I do that internship? And why didn't I, oh, and why is that not ready? You know what I mean? And I feel like that's almost what's happening here, is like this person is like beating themselves up, being like, oh, I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm good enough for pile 4. And maybe all the things I thought were fine in the past, now I'm suddenly seeing it through this new lens. And now I suddenly see all my flaws and failures. And I feel like this has also brought out, again, this sense of inadequacy that this person may have, or this sense of not being fully ready for a relationship. But in your case, it's like they do want a relationship really bad. I feel like they wish they could be better. I'm hearing that song Better Man by, I think, Little Big Town. Taylor Swift wrote it, but I think she gave it to them, although I don't know for sure the name of the band that actually sings it. But it's like got those amazing Taylor lyrics where she's like, and I just wish you were a better man. And to me, and I just miss you, and I just wish you were a better man. And I feel like that's almost how this person feels about themselves. Like, I wish I had been better. I wish I could be better. So it depends on where you are in the timeline. Like, if you're still with this person, or this is the beginning, I feel like maybe you're just bringing in their insecurities and them wondering, like, what if I mess things up? What if I can't do this? Oh my God. And if this is like an old separation relationship that has been going on for a long time, this person may feel like, I wish I had been better. I wish I'd handled it better. And now I process everything I lost. They may have kind of been in a little bit of denial to themselves and told themselves, you know, I'm fine with it, whatever. Like, it's fine if we part and I don't care. And now it's like the realization is coming down. I love, like, I keep hearing that line in my head, that I just miss you and I just wish you were a better man. But I feel like that's almost from this person's perspective. Like, they're like, I wish I was a better man. I miss you and I wish that. I feel like, or a better woman, whatever. But I feel like there's a lot of them that, like, it's almost like they thought they were fine. Like, nothing will bring out your triggers or your fears around relationships, like actually getting in one, right? Like, actually getting in one with someone you care about. It's also one thing to like date someone you don't really care about. Like, to be honest, I mean, it's not a good thing to do, but like, it's kind of easy when you're with that person and you don't really care. And if they left you tomorrow, you'd be like, well, whatever. Like, you don't feel a soulmate vibe. You don't feel this magical spark. You don't feel anything like that. So it's like, if you get in an argument, okay. If they threaten to leave, okay. And it's a lot easier to manage your emotions in that, right? It's a lot easier to walk away from an argument or to handle it maturely because you're not going to be as triggered. But then there's those people that just like get under our skin and we feel so connected to them and we care about their opinion on a deeper level. Like, if they're making fun of us or they're disappointed in us or they think something we did is cringe, it bothers us. We're going to be like, what do you mean you don't like this song? And then we might get mad at it, but later go back and delete it from our playlist. You know what I mean? It weighs on us what they think of us. And I feel like, you know, it's like so many people in the spiritual community will talk a good game about like healing, but then it's like the thing that really tests that can often be relationships and like, you know, how are you in your relationships? Because yeah, that's what brings out our emotions more than anything. And I feel like this person, it's almost like they weren't ready for the challenge, or if you're still dealing with them, they worry about that. Again, it's a general reading, so some of you guys might have just started talking to this person, and in that case, I just feel like this person is so nervous about messing it up. Like there's a part of them that's like, I just don't know if I can do this. I just don't know if I'm fully ready for this, or I don't know if I can maintain this. Because maybe, you know, in their other relationships, I feel like they are used to kind of many times they would actually feel in control. Like they maybe called the shots in other relationships. Maybe in other connections they had, they never had anxiety and they never worried and they were always cool and calm as a cucumber because they were the one in the power position and their emotions weren't that intense. So if the person left them, whatever, it's okay. And now it's like overwhelming that they really care about you and they're just like, please don't mess this up, please don't mess this up, please don't mess this up. I also feel like if this is someone you're in separation from, they might finally be processing the loss and finally really be thinking about, you know, why did I do that? And why did I act that way? Especially if there was any cheating on their part with that Three of Cups coming out. I feel like they also want you to know what they would never tell you is how much those other people could never compare to you. Like this person, I feel like their higher self is so like, knowing that you're so amazing and knowing that you're so rare and so special. And if they ever made you think that there was anyone else who could compare, their higher self as being like, no, they were lying. They were just saying that, you know. I feel like their lower self, like, sometimes didn't or doesn't treat you all the way with the sacredness that they feel you deserve. And some of that is just immaturity on their part. Some of that is just this person not being as ready as they may have wanted to be. And I feel like there's an energy of them, some of them just making a small stupid decision or something like that, or just it's almost like I feel like this person too, there may have been an energy of them at times like playing a game or doing something that just they thought like, oh, this will work out. And maybe it's almost like those things where, you know how you might get drunk and text someone something crazy, and in the moment you're like, yeah, I'm drunk and I don't care. And then you wake up and you're sober the next day and you're like, oh my God, why did I do that? Or you kind of are going to play a game and you're like, well, I want them to do this, so I'm going to give them the silent treatment or whatever. And then it backfires on you. Like there's an energy around that. There's an energy with this person doing something and then later on having to process and kind of having to admit that it wasn't actually the best way to handle it. It's almost like they took the easy way out. And I feel like they also have to admit that there were a lot of things you were right about. They want you to know that for some reason. There were a lot of things you were right about, and that they may have ignored that, or they may have even acted like, oh my God, you're crazy, or you're asking too much, or they may have like pushed you away at a distance. And now they're having to admit like, no, you were completely accurate. For those of you guys where this is more like I said, the early stages, or even like a crush or something like that, I feel like they don't want you to know the fear they feel around you and how much they kind of get nervous when you walk into the room and how much they don't want to make a bad impression on you. I feel like they really take it seriously. Like if you're disappointed with them, or you're not into them, or there's something they do that upsets you, that really bothers them. They also see you as very precious. I feel like you don't know, and what they would tell you if they were honest with you is how into you they find you. Like they find you so cute is what I'm getting. Like so cute, like freaking adorable. And I feel like it's almost like they see you as like this little doll, and if they could just tuck you into their corner and into their pocket, not corner, I don't know why I said that. If they could tuck you into their pocket and carry you around with them all the time, they totally would. They just see you as like absolutely so cute, so sweet, and just like very special. And I feel like sometimes they're not the best at verbalizing that or letting you know the level that they do feel around you, the level of attraction, the level of how special you are to them. In a way, I feel like sometimes this person may just be too immature to verbalize that. They may just be at a place where like they don't know how to say that. They don't know how to be as romantic with you. And they want you to know that. They're also saying that they may not be good with their words. They may not be the type that can really verbalize or put it into words, and they wish they were better at that. And their higher self, I think, is asking for just like a little patience. They may not be the best at knowing how to approach, or maybe if they are good at approaching, they know how to approach for like a hookup, or they know how to approach for like some fun short term, but not when they actually love the person and really care. And that might be where this person really gets tripped up, is when their emotions are in it, which I feel like is how they feel towards you. Like they really have a deep sense. They want you to know that being around you, I feel like in a way it's like coming home. And they may also really plan a future with you with the 10 of Cups. They may see you as their soulmate. We got the 10 of Cups coming out next to the Lovers. So literally they may see you as like, this is the person I want to marry. This is the person I want to be with for the rest of my life. And I have never felt such a connection with anyone the way I feel a connection with them. I feel like for them, they are kind of blown away by how deep and how intensely they cared about you. And I'm hearing also how fast it happened. They're telling me that like never before did they feel this level of a connection. And it's crazy to them that it feels like it almost happened overnight. Like 1 minute they woke up and they were just madly in love with you, and they couldn't have ever dreamed that that was going to happen like that. They couldn't have ever dreamed that the connection with you would happen as fast and as intensely as it did. Let me get some song cards for you. Pile number 4. We want to know what this person would say if they were completely honest. Turn to white. She and him. All of me wants all of you. Sufjan Stevens. Let's see. Oh, we got that twice. Okay, I didn't even know I had that in twice. That's interesting. 1,000 Years, Christina Perri. And God's Plan, Drake. White Mustang, Lana Del Rey. Also, this Lana Del Rey song, Fell Out High by the Beach. Okay. And we got 2 songs here. This one is Trip to Your Heart, Britney Spears. My Favorite Mistake, Sheryl Crow. This person also doesn't want you to know what a kick they get out of you. Like they find you really funny and amusing. Like anything you do just makes them laugh. Like I feel like in a good way. Yeah, like it's like they almost laugh about you, but ooh, I almost dropped that. Money, Power, and Glory by Lana Del Rey. But I was saying they also get a kick out of you in the way that like, you know, a little kid does something and you laugh at them, but you're not like laughing at them like, what a loser. You're laughing at them because you're like, you're so cute. Or like your dog or your puppy or your cat does something and you just think they're so adorable and you laugh, but not in like a like what an idiot way, but you're laughing at them because you're like, you are the cutest thing ever. And I feel like this person just sees you as so cute. Like they really see you as like just like a little angel almost, you know. But yeah, I feel like for them, they're also telling me they're afraid that they care about things more than you care about things. They're afraid that you'll be completely fine and you just might leave them and be like, yeah, I lost interest, sorry, bye. So they kind of might stay away from you for that reason. We got Waiting in Vain by Bob Marley. And so they may worry that you're going to wake up one day and just be like, oh my gosh, this person's a clown. This person is not ready. There's some fears around them being immature as well. And or you thinking that they're immature, you thinking that they're like, I feel like they worry that they're immature, but they're also more worried now about them really being immature, you know? I feel like for you, you have opened this door in a way that has made them think about commitment or think about having things be permanent and having longevity with you in a way that has never happened to them before. They've never really been thinking so long-term about moving ahead with someone and about being with someone the way they want to be with you. I feel like as well, this person thinks about maybe even starting a family with you is what I'm hearing. But yeah, there's this energy of just really trying to like keep things calm and really trying to like maintain things. It's almost like this person's just like trying to do everything they can to maintain things. I don't know. I feel like this person sometimes feels this sense of doom around the relationship. If this is like an active or early relationship, they may just sometimes panic and feel like this can't work out or like everything's going to end. I feel like they really like you, but they're afraid of you losing interest. It's almost like they're afraid of you ending things at some point. And they're kind of trying to keep things moving. They're kind of trying to keep things going, but there's also that sense that like you're going to figure them out and you're just going to be like, okay, bye, I'm done. Yeah. I feel like as well, they're saying that they are worried about like maybe you dating someone else, maybe you losing interest. They see you as someone who has lots of different options that you could literally date whoever you want. You don't have to be with them. But look, we got 1,000 Years, Christina Perri, Trip to Your Heart. To me, that's such a beautiful romantic song. I feel like they really feel very deeply for you, and they could see themselves being with you like forever, long term. Obviously, forever is as long term as it gets, right? Let's get some more cards for pile number 4. What would this person say to pile 4 if they were going to be completely honest with them? We got protecting treasure. Okay. They see you as a treasure, pile 4. Wow. Then we have magic prayer, balancing act. Okay. I love that card for relationships because it does, to me, always remind me of Libra, aka the 7th house of relationships. Storm fields. Yeah, they're worried about something coming in and like ruining the relationship. Maybe even you getting mad at them or something like that. I don't know. We got coming to life. And yeah, so, okay, let's go over these cards. And details. I think I didn't read that name. Okay, so protecting treasure. Again, they see you as a beautiful treasure. I feel like they want to protect this thing in their life that is so precious to them. I feel like they almost want to hold you back from also worrying about certain things because they know that there's certain things that would freak you out. So they may even be hiding information from you, but it's almost like it may not be in a bad way. It may be in a way of like, just if they knew this, they'd be stressed, and I don't want them to be stressed. I don't want them to be freaking out. I don't want them to be nervous. So let me just not tell them, but not in a way of like, oh, I need to hide this because it's super sketchy. Although that could be something as well. Take what resonates and leave the rest. So if that resonates for you, then that's fine. But I feel like there's a lot of them almost like trying to scramble around and create things or make it nice for you or make it okay for you, you know, like change their life to make you happy or to appease you. I feel like for them with the 11th or the balancing act card, number 11, which is a spiritual number, and then that to me always reminds me of the 7th house, aka the Libra house of relationships. So I really feel like this person sees you as like a counterpart, like a soul. Like it's almost 1111 is making me think of, you know, twin souls, 11 and 11, and then that adds up to 2. So 2 people who are like one soul, and then they come together to form the number 2, but they are one soul, you know, they like are completely the same, or there's some deep similarity, some deep soul resonance that they have with each other. And I feel like this person just really doesn't want to mess it up. I feel like they really are saying that whatever they, or maybe they did mess it up and they are regretful about that. I don't know, take what resonates and leave the rest. But there's a part of them that's like, I don't know, also maybe afraid that if you know them so well that you would not be impressed, or there would be red flags for you, or you would run away, or you wouldn't be okay with it. With Stormfields, they may worry that there would be some big fight, or that if they ever reached out to you again, that you would start arguing with them, you would blow up on them, you know? Maybe they worry that they mess things up too bad and that you'll never forgive them, depending on where you are in the timeline with this person. But they may worry that like they've done too much damage, they messed it up big time, and there's no coming back from this. There's no salvaging it. That you are just not going to be interested in anything they have to say, and you're doing your own thing. They may worry as well, especially about you dating others and how much that would kill them. Like if you were to move on and go form another relationship, like it kills them to imagine you sleeping with someone else. It kills them to imagine you just being happy in another relationship and giving your time and attention to someone else. I feel like for them, that's just like almost overwhelming. Like they can't even deal with it, you know? That's just something that really drives them crazy. And I feel like they don't want to be honest with you about how jealous they are and how jealous they do feel about that. They're almost saying, for some of them, I have no right to be that jealous, but I still am. I can't help myself. Let's get some of these cards for pile number 4. We want to know how this person really feels and what they would say to pile 4 if they were going to be completely honest. Oh my God. The sacred union coming out right off the top, and this is for sure the relationship card for this deck, and really such a deep card. You know, this is a sacred union to them. This is something that means so much to them. This is something that I feel like, you know, they feel shocked that they could even experience once in a lifetime. This is something that I feel like losing you drives them crazy. The primary emotion I'm picking up on with this person is just anxiety. It's like, oh my God. Ugh. And I feel like they spend a lot of time worrying about it. They spend a lot of time either worrying they'll never get access to you again, or they'll never find someone like you again. They'll never feel this way about someone again, or that if you're in an active relationship or this isn't something new, that they're going to mess things up, and you're going to be unhappy, and you're going to lose interest, and you're not going to want to be with them, and that would absolutely kill them and drive them insane. Let's get some more cards for you. Pile number 4. We got the Sun Dancers, joyful activity, celebration of life, abundance. And then this one is the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, discernment, clear vision, details. And let's get a couple more cards for you. Pile number 4, the Well Watcher, wisdom, power of the divine. And one more, the Wise Woman of Wonderland, integrity, compromise, because they're also mentioning how smart you are and how you have incredible intuition and you see through things. And I think that's what they're afraid of, is sometimes they're so smart and they see everything, and I just don't want to mess things up. I just don't want to like screw things up and ruin it. And I feel like sometimes they don't know how to say things to you, how to approach you, how to tell you their emotions. Sometimes I feel like for them, you know, they just, it's almost like it's hard for them to express that. It's almost like you've demanded more things from them in the context of the relationship than they ever thought they would have to give, or that they ever had to give in the past. You, maybe because you are more mature and you are smarter and you're very leveled up and more spiritual, maybe you're not willing to accept certain crumbs that they gave to other people in relationships, or certain times that they would handle things immaturely, or that they would run away from a conflict, or, you know, not bring their best to the relationship. And I feel like what worked for other people, they know it is not going to work for you. They know you have high standards and that they're going to have to raise the bar, and that intimidates them. I feel like they are willing to do the work to be with you, but also there's that sense of them being really terrified, or if this is a past connection and no contact or whatever, that they're just really sad that they messed things up. And I feel like they still want access to, if that's the case, on the astral plane, and they may still be contacting you on the astral plane, because they're almost saying, if you fully block me from the astral plane, I don't know what I would do. I would be so upset. Like, it would just, I need you. That's also an energy I'm getting, is like, I need you so badly, so please don't give up on me, please give me time. But this person doesn't even know if they're capable of it or not. Like, they're trying to heal. I feel like they're trying to grow and improve, and they want you to know that if this person has been no contact for a while and you haven't heard from them for a while, they may be off doing their own thing, trying to improve or trying to get better. And sometimes that takes time. That's the hard thing about soul work, is like sometimes it takes way longer than you would think. I'm not saying you should sit around waiting for this person. I always think you should live your best life, and whatever is meant to align with you will align in divine timing. But yeah, I feel like this person is kind of saying like, oh, the idea of you as someone else absolutely drives me nuts. And I feel like they're kind of accepting the fact that like they may not feel this connection with anyone else to the level they feel it with you. That may be something they ran from at the beginning and tried to pretend like, well, yeah, I feel really strongly drawn to pile 4, but you know, I might feel that way towards lots of people. And now they're like, okay, I kind of got to admit, like, this probably isn't going to be something I feel ever again with someone else on this level. Let's get some of these astrology dice. So we got the first house, Scorpio, and the moon. Wow. So we have a lot of psychic energy. Like I said, you guys are very connected on the astral plane. So we have Aries, we have Scorpio, we have Cancer. So Aries, the first house, and that is the house of the self, opposing the 7th house of relationships. I almost feel like that is an energy that this person may have been when you met them, or that may be an energy as well that this person is saying they were in, and that's why they ruined the relationship. If they did ruin things, or you guys are like no contact and separation, maybe they were in more of a self-centered energy, and it's something that they now kind of regret, or it's something that they now, you know, look back on and think, oh, I wish I'd acted differently. I feel like there's almost a lot of issues that this person has that has nothing to do with you, and is stuff they have to work on completely on their own. So this person is almost saying for you to depersonalize it and kind of focus on your life instead of like waiting for this person, because it's almost like this person's trying, but they're also on their own timeline. You know, they're having to work through things, and they don't want you to be too focused on like waiting for them, because it's like they're trying and they're fixing and they're working, but it may take a little time, and they just kind of want you to be patient, but focus on yourself in the meantime. Have that first house energy where you're not like obsessively tied into another person in the meantime. Then we have Scorpio, the 8th house. That is a house of deep sexual attraction. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto obviously is very connected to sex. Scorpio literally rules over like the genitals and sexual connections. So yeah, I feel like with this person, they are very turned on by you. They are very attractive to you. And the thing about Scorpio is that it rules sex, but it is a water sign. So it's not just a physical act for Scorpio. It is a spiritual, emotional act. And it's not just about, oh, I attracted this person's body and I just want to hit it and quit it. It's about a deep soul merging that can happen, and maybe happen via sex, but really it's about that soul merging. That's what Scorpio is after. And I feel like that's what this person feels with you, is this deep resonance, this deep knowing. And also Scorpio loves to uncover hidden truths. Scorpio is like the private detective of the zodiac. So I feel like with this person, they really feel like you've seen them on such a deep level, deeper than they knew was possible. And they feel like they know you as well, and they love everything about you. That's what they want you to know, that you haven't scared them away. There's nothing about you that they're like, oh God. They love all of it. And so they are just saying that they feel this connection is really deep, really special, really unique. Also the moon. The moon, of course, relates with Cancer, the 4th house of family. This person may have considered starting a family with you and seen that really long-term potential that we saw with the 10 of Cups leading off the reading. But the moon, Cancer, is also highly psychic, just like Scorpio. So it is that energy that is going to feel on the astral plane, feel you on the astral plane, try to contact you on the astral plane, wants to be with you on the astral plane. It's not just about the physical or the earth dimension to water signs. It's about connecting on a really deep spiritual soul level. And I feel like that's how this person feels with you. So even if you haven't seen them for a while in the physical world, they may still contact you on the astral plane. You may still feel their energy around you, and they may be saying like, hey, even if you broke up with me in the real world, I'm still talking to you in my dreams. I'm still hanging out with you on the astral plane. You can't get rid of me up there. But yeah, this person feels very deeply connected with you. They definitely feel like you're a soulmate. And I feel like a lot of the things they don't tell you is just how much they value you and how much they're afraid of losing you in their life. So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. I really hope that resonates. If it did and you want to see more of my readings, then head on over to my Patreon, where I have over 90 exclusive readings that you'll only find on Patreon. I just posted one all about your spiritual gifts and talents. Before that, about your soul connection with this person and whether you know them from a past lifetime, what your past life karma is with them, all of that. And before that, one about what people have realized about you. But like I said, there's so much content to choose from on Patreon, over 90 exclusive readings you'll only get access to over there. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, and you guys also get to vote and suggest on new topics. So if you're interested in signing up, go to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a tarot reading, an astrology session, a channeling session. You can have it be a half-hour quickie reading or a full hour-length reading. You can have it be pre-recorded or live. You get to really choose how you want your session to go and customize it so it's perfect for you. If that sounds good and you're interested in booking a slot with me, go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very soon in another reading in the future. Take care, guys. Bye.